Hey, I'm Megan, and for this week's assignment, we were asked to write an informative speech. The topic that I have chosen for my speech is the evolution of the music industry. I chose this topic because I am a lover of all things music, and I thought it would be cool to talk about the history of where music all started and how far it has come over the years. The music industry has been around since the late 1800s to the early 1900s. It all started with Thomas Edison's invention of the phonograph, and now we've come as far as online streaming. The first pre recorded music hit stores in 1889 on phonograph cylinders. These cylinders were made of metal and were wrapped in tin foil. These were used until Edison created all wax cylinders. A playback stylist would read the recordings on the cylinders and play the music back through a diaphragm and a horn. In the 1890s, flat disc records were being used for the first time. The first flat disc records were made of shellac. They didn't transition to using vinyl until after World War II. Vinyl is a much lighter and much more durable material than shellac. Along with vinyl came the change of the standard industry from 78 RPMs to 33 1/3 RPM, which allowed for much more music to be recorded on a single disc. In 1958, the first RCA tape cartridge was introduced. This was the first time that tapes were really available for home use. However, the RCA tape didn't do very well in sales, so it disappeared from the shelves by around 1964. At this same time, the 8-track tape was introduced. The 8-track tape did become popular because a lot of the cars in the late 60s and 70s had players in them. In the 1970s, compact cassette tapes gained popularity. They were really small, so that worked in their advantage. They weren't selling well before because it wasn't until the 70s that they were proven to carry really high quality music. In the 1980s, commercial compact discs emerged. We know these as CDs. And by the mid 1990s, MP3 software was introduced. The first pocket sized MP3 device was released in 1996 and held about 10 to 12 songs. The Apple iPod completely destroyed the MP3 market in 2001 with the release of the Monster. The Monster had about 5 gigabytes of data and could hold around 500 to 1,000 songs. I think it's clear to see why this would clearly outsell the earlier devices that held about 10 to 12. Along with the iPod came the Apple iTunes software. This allowed for users to purchase and download music with just the click of a button. Most of our smartphones now come equipped with some sort of software to purchase and download music. Online music streaming has become very popular in the modern day industry. Some of the most popular streaming apps or sites are Pandora, Spotify, iTunes Radio, and iHeartRadio. Streaming has caused a lot of controversy. It's caused controversy because the right holders of the music can only earn a few cents per play, so it's hard for the artist or the record label to make a lot of money off of streaming. I just think that it's really crazy how the music industry has become so compact. We've gone from listening to music on this, which is a record. I don't have a phonograph cylinder, but this was one of the first ways that music was listened to listening to music on this, which is a tape. You had to have a player to hear the music, to listening to music on commercial compact discs, which of course we know these as CDs, and CDs are still used to this day, so to listening to music on iPods and MP3 devices. And I really like iPods and MP3s because I think they're a good way to hold all of your songs without taking up all the storage on your computer or phone. So the iPods can hold a lot of music. And we've come as far as getting on our phones opening our favorite streaming app, and clicking a button and hearing our favorite songs. So, I think that's really cool. I think the music industry will continue to become more technologically advanced and more compact. However, I think that streaming will lose its popularity in the future because I believe that artists will continue to fight against the companies. I love music. I love going to see my favorite artists in concert, singing, playing music, and dancing to music, pretty much everything that involves music. So I think that the way the music industry has evolved is really great. I think it really works in a person like myself's advantage. I do also think, though, that the old school ways of listening to music, like record players and cassette tapes, are really cool too. So the music industry is just something that amazes me altogether.